Hi everyone, Mr. B here, and welcome to the Soccer Shootout. Now in today's lesson, we're going to be working on foot striking. Now foot striking is something we would typically see in soccer. We would also see it in games like kickball or kicking your brother. Just kidding. I didn't say it, Mom and Dad. Don't kick your brother, boys and girls. Alright, but in soccer or kickball, something like that, we have to strike a ball with our foot. Now, in kickball, for instance, you would probably always choose to strike with your dominant foot. And in the soccer shootout, you're going to have a choice of which foot to strike with. So while you would, in a real soccer shootout, always kick with your dominant foot, it's going to be a good idea to practice today with both feet. Because if you're interested in something like soccer, you can't be a one-footed soccer player. You're going to need to develop both feet. So let's start with a ball, because in soccer shootout, we're going to need a ball. Now also, this lesson would be best if you take advantage of your yard if you have one, and an actual soccer ball if you have one. We're starting to open things up now, so maybe you can get out to a park with your family so you have a little more room. I'm going to be doing this right here in a small area, which you could even do inside if you're still limited on space, or if you live in an apartment or a trailer or something like that where you don't have a big yard to work with, you could do this here. Now that's where a ball becomes important, because you're not going to be wanting kicking a soccer ball up against your wall, because it can break something, go through the wall, all kinds of bad things can happen. So we're going to want to choose our ball carefully. So again, this setup for me is going to be using a softball. But if you have the room, or if you can go to a park with a family, just make sure you're keeping your distance, and if you are in public, you're still wearing a mask or a gaiter, as we've discussed many times. All right, so for a ball, what I'll be using in this area, because I'll be kicking against the wall here, and also Mrs. B is definitely afraid of the ball. Please don't grow up and be afraid of the ball. Okay, Mrs. B wasn't really a sports athlete. She did many other things to keep herself fit, but still is a little tentative around the ball. So this one's a dodgeball, which is meant to throw at people, so it's squishy and soft. This one's one of the grocery store balls that we talk about constantly, so these would be okay. They're not going to damage the wall. They're not going to hurt anybody, even though you may see Mrs. B go, because we're going to have a goalie in this one. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. So Mrs. B will be a goalie at some point once we start. Now, this ball I actually made. I can't show you exactly how to make it because I didn't have enough materials to make it twice. But this is just a grocery store bag. All I did was open it up. I crumpled up a bunch of newspaper into little balls and put it in here. So it's about the size of a dodgeball, a mini basketball, or a size 3 soccer ball, which would be appropriate for your age group. Then I put a little bit of duct tape here just to hold it together. And now I have a ball. So these balls are all light, again, won't damage the ball. Now let's talk about how to kick a ball, how to strike a ball. I'm actually going to be using that duct tape I talked about right here just to demonstrate, because this won't roll anywhere on cement. Again, best if you have some grass area, but if not, again, I'm showing you how you can do this in a small area. Now, this is actually a first grade standard that I'm talking about right now. The first grade standard is kick a stationary ball. That means it's not moving, with a smooth running start. So you're going to run towards it. You don't want to start right next to the ball and go like this, because you're not going to get any momentum, any power. You're not powered. If you're going to want to score on our goal here and get it past the goalie, you're going to have to kick it pretty hard. So you want that running start to build momentum. Now, in this case, I'm setting up for this leg, my dominant leg. This is my right leg. So I'm going to start just a little bit to the side of the ball. Now, as I run and approach, I'm going to put my non-kicking foot right next to the ball. This is important. If I stop too early here, I'm not going to get much power on the ball because I'll be reaching for it. If I run past the ball, well, I'm probably just going to trip over myself and end up crashing into you here. We don't want to do that. So this is important to start kind of timing, and we get that timing with practice. Now, where do we strike the ball? On our foot. This is a big mistake that many students make at your age. We want to strike it always with our instep. That's the inside of your foot right here. Or, as you become more advanced, we can also use our laces. And this is where students get confused, because what most of you do is kick with your toes. We never, ever, ever kick with our toes, for a couple reasons. One, you're going to get less control of the ball. Two, you could actually hurt yourself. If you're kicking something like a basketball, which is not really meant for kicking, but it's nice and heavy, that's going to smash your toes right there. But again, the primary reason is we're not going to get much control. Now, at a young age, sometimes we actually get more power that way, but that's where using the laces would come into play. As you progress in your skill, striking the ball with your laces, you should be able to develop that same power as you would kicking with your toe, but doing the kick properly. Sorry, motorcycle. So again, running start, plant your non-kicking foot next to the ball and strike it with the instep or the laces. I'm going to be using primarily my instep today. All right, so to set up your area, here's what I did. We're just using some trash cans here for the goals. I'm going to bring out Mrs. B here in a second. Now, before I do, I'm going to go ahead and kick a couple just to show you what it looks like with the ball. Now, a good scorer, once that goalie comes out here, once Mrs. B is out here, you want to kick towards the corners. Don't kick it right towards the goalie and expect them to move. Mrs. B might. Oh, okay, but if you get it in the corners, it's going to be harder for them to stop. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple here. I'll do 2 examples, and then we'll bring out Mrs. B. So I'm going to put one ball down here. Now, the round balls may move a little bit on cement, but again, we're working on the first grade standard right now. So here we go. Towards the corner. Oh, it's a little bit off. See how we do with the grocery store ball. Now, the problem with the grocery store ball is it's so light, I might get under it a little bit. But you'll notice that ball stayed low, which I'm going to want to do for this one. Oops, there goes that grocery store ball. Never mind. Let's use the newspaper ball. So again, we're going to take that running start and strike the ball. So that one was much better right towards the corner, and notice it stayed low. So how do you get the ball to stay in the low corner? When we strike a ball, if you strike the ball right in the middle, it's going to stay relatively level and powerful. If you strike it too low, it's going to pop up in the air just like that one did. And if you strike it towards the top of the ball, you're probably just going to trip over it like we talked about earlier. All right, so watch for those as I bring Mrs. B out here, and let's see if I can score on Mrs. B. All right, everyone, Mrs. B has joined us, and now we are ready for the soccer shootout. In this case, she's the goalie, and I'm the shooter. Now, here are the simple rules for soccer shootout. In a soccer shootout, the shooting team, that's just me in this case, will get 5 shots. And then we would switch, and Mrs. B would get 5 shots. And whoever gets the most goals out of those 5 shots is declared the winner. Now, I would recommend that you take 5 shots with your dominant foot and then switch to your non-dominant foot. Since I'm just going to do these 5 examples, I'm going to go ahead and show you with both feet on this, and I'll alternate. But again, I would recommend 5 dominant foot shots, then 5 non-dominant foot shots after in the second round. You can play this as many times as you like. All right, so here we go. The ball is set. Now, also a way to make this more challenging, move the ball even further away. This is about as far as we can go in our limited space, and our goal was also smaller. So bigger goal is easier for the scoring player, but harder for the goalie. So again, change your game up in different ways based on the space that you have, and have fun. All right, here we go. Soccer shootout. Shot 1 of 5 for me. Remember, aim for the corners. All right, so Mrs. B blocked that one. Notice she didn't use her hands. Goalies don't have to only use their hands. She used her foot and was able to block that one. So good job to Mrs. B on that one. So I get 4 more shots, and then we would switch. So here's shot 2. Hit the post on that one, so no goal. So far, no goals for Mrs. B, or Mr. B. Mrs. B is perfect as a goalie so far. So let's see if I can make one here. And there's not a lot of room on our goal here, so there's not much room to score. All right, so that one I got by her. I tried to use the foot. Was able to sneak that one by her. Oh, and I just realized I've been using all dominant foot shots. So that was 3 shots. I'm going to switch and do non-dominant for these next 2. Again, in your game, do 5 dominant, then 5 non-dominant. All right, so here goes my non-dominant foot. I have 1 goal so far out of 3. All right, so that one, notice, was right in the corner. So that was a really good shot by me on that one. That's 2 goals, so I'll do 1 more with my non-dominant. Here we go. All right, iffy. Notice Mrs. B ducking on that one. I think it was probably a little bit high, though, so I'm going to give Mrs. B credit on that one. So I did say we were going for low goals on this one. But again, you can make your goal any size you want. So that was my 5 shots. I got 2 goals. I think we said we weren't going to count the last one. So at this point in the game, we would switch. But to save a little time, I'm going to show you how you can make this now a 2nd grade standard. Remember, a stationary ball is 1st grade. 2nd grade standard is a rolling ball. So 2nd grade is kick a rolling ball. So we're going to give the ball to Mrs. B. She would roll it at me just like we've been working on the bowling. And then I will get 5 shots. Again, so this would be our 2nd round, a different way you can play. All right, so Mrs. B will roll it. All right, so Mrs. B was able to block that one. So she would keep
this one. That was shot 1 of the rolling. Now with the rolling ball, you would need to be able to kick with either foot because we don't know where Mrs. B is going to roll it. Oops. Right at Mrs. B again. So no goals for Mr. B on the second round. Here comes shot 3. Oh, I missed that one. Remember how we talked about hitting the top of the ball? I hit the top of the ball on that one, so not good. And this ball's not perfectly round, so it's a little hard to time. Not doing well on this one. Go ahead, Mrs. B. All right, we got that one by her. It wasn't in the corner, but I was able to sneak that one by her, so 1 goal in the second round. Oh, Mrs. B got just enough of that one. So, and you can see her celebrate. So again, at this point, we would switch for our round 2, and Mrs. B would take her shots. All right, boys and girls, that's it. That's the soccer shootout. Have fun. Again, if you want to make the game challenging, like this one was, make the goals pretty small. Want to make it a little easier, make the goals a little bit bigger, and you can play with the distance. Further shots are going to be harder for you to score, easier for the goalie. All right, have fun on the soccer shootout. We will see you in the next section. Practice your skills, boys and girls.